Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a 10-part series that premiered on Netflix. Within the Cyberpunk 2077 universe, it's based off of that video game. It's done by the animation studio Trigger, but it looks like it was kind of produced by CD Projekt Red as well. Yeah, so okay, right off the break, this is a gorgeous anime. I haven't seen an anime that just pops off the screen like this in a minute. Like it's so the animation is so like vibrant and it's got so many like neon colors and thing that just blends together and it totally just pops off the screen. Some of the greatest visuals I've seen in an anime for a long time. It was done. I think the last hit they had, Kiss la Kill. I think I said that right. Oh, Kill la Kill. Kill la Kill was like also done by Studio Trigger, and I think that was like their last kind of like smash hit they've had. I don't. I honestly, full disclosure, I haven't been that much into anime, honestly. So, and I, if this wasn't in the Cyberpunk 2077 universe, it probably wouldn't have came across my radar either. Like what's God? I don't know what's going on with me. I think I'm getting old. I used to watch nothing but anime, but now I don't even touch the stuff myself. Nah, I'm just joking. Nah, I love anime, but I don't know. I think I might be aging out of anime or something. I think I've had this conversation with somebody before, but this might be the thing that actually kind of gets me back into it. And also along with that, the animation, the story in this is actually pretty excellent too. So it's written by, and I hope I don't butcher this too much, a guy named Bartosz Stybor is his name. And when I saw that name flash across the like the opening credits, I instantly said, "Oh my God!" Because that's the guy that's been writing a lot of the cyberpunk comic books that's been coming out in the past year or a couple of years or something like that. And those comic books are like really, really good. So my favorite one, like just the one that's You Have My Word series. So most of the comics are like four parts or four issues. And Trauma Team was one I really liked, and he wrote a bunch of other ones too. But my favorite by far is the You Have My Word series, and the next one, the fourth one, is coming out in like a couple of weeks. I think it might be the last one because it's like issue four, and they've only been doing them in like four issue series. But I can't wait for that. Like I actually kind of circled that on my calendar, it's because I'm picking that up like once it drops. So yeah, so it's not that surprising to know that he also is part of the development team for the game, because apparently he's been writing the story for the game and like writing like the missions and the characters and things like that. And it shows because he definitely understands like the just the desperation and the deplorableness of like Night City and the citizens that live there. It's a place where nobody gets out of that city alive. It's a terrible place that just grinds you under its boot until you're like a puddle. Man, the way they fully realize Night City, it might be. I think it officially overtakes Gotham City as like the worst place to live. Like I don't think anybody wants to live in Night City, honestly. You just kind of like find yourself there and you just got to survive until maybe you make it out of there. So that's why when I saw like the trailer on YouTube, I instantly was just like all in because I love that world. I love Night City. And yeah, so when I found out there were like comic books, I was all over that, and I haven't been disappointed with that. Like the comic books have been like really good, and when I saw the anime, I was just like, oh yeah, that's me. I'm all over this. Oh yeah, one of the aspects I found like really enjoyable of this too is so like in the game you're only playing as a character named V and your partner Jackie Wells. Beyond that, so you come in contact with a bunch of different characters, but it's basically kind of you on like this solitary mission. But you don't really come in contact with any other cyberpunks in the game. you run into like a bunch of fixers, and a bunch of like other citizens that are is part of your mission or your heist that the fixer is set up for you, but you don't really come in contact with any other like cyberpunks. And so that's why it was like I really loved that part in the anime, because like, okay, there's other cyberpunks in here, that are like, doing their thing and doing missions. That's something that I think is missing in the actual game, is that it kind of feels like you're in a vacuum. You're like, because there's like several different fixers like in every kind of borough or whatever in the game, and it seems like you're the one you're the one person that they're always calling. But if you go to the afterlife, which is like just like cyberpunk a bar like in the game, it's full of like other people in there who I guess are cyberpunks, but it's a video game, so every time you go in there, they're in there too. You know what I mean? So, and there's no interaction, there's no like, thing of like, I'm going on a mission with them or something like that. And so, it was really cool to see like other like cyberpunks. Okay, so what is Cyberpunk Edge Runners all about? There's this 17-year-old kid named David Martinez who is like uh, pretty poor. Like he is pretty much below the poverty line. He lives with a single mom who is working. I think she works with Trauma Team actually, and they're trying to make ends meet. She's like pulling double shifts and working overtime and stuff to send her son to Arasaka Academy, which is, if you're familiar with cyberpunk at all, Arasaka is like the main kind of corporation, the main like global conglomerate in the world of cyberpunk. So she's trying to like give her kid like the best. She's like doing every sacrifice she can. She's even doing side hustles, just to get her son into this academy so he can go on and be successful and make a name for herself. Yeah, so as a parent, you definitely like understand that and identify with that. I know I sure enough do. And so there's a tragic event happens, and it kind of forces David into the world of cyberpunk, into working with fixers and finding a crew to like pull off heists and stuff like that. And that kicks off the entire story into what Edge Runners kind of turns into. Yeah, okay. So what do I like about this? Yeah, I really like that we kind of see what the psychosis process is. Did I say that right? The cyber psychosis. Oh my God, good Lord. But yeah, we so in the anime we get to see like what the process of like turning like cyber psycho is. Just seeing what cyber psychosis is like to actually go through was I don't know if I could say fun, but it was just like, oh, wow, okay, nice. Because in the game, they don't really go through all that. You just there's missions where you try to take down cyber psychos, but they don't really like go through like what that process would be like to actually go through it. And so in the anime, it was really cool to actually see like, okay, so that's what they're going through when they actually go cyber psycho and start like laying waste to everybody like this, like immediately around them. There's a couple of cameos from the game in the anime too. I was like very pleasantly surprised about. They had Wakako kind of made an appearance in here, pretty much like how she does in the game. She'll like call you out the blue. That's one of the crazy things about the game too. Like a whole bunch of people that just start calling you and hitting you up out the blue. That was really cool to see that. The afterlife bar that I mentioned earlier, that's in the video game, is in the show as well. You have a rogue in there who's like the probably like the most famous fixer in Night City, as well as a Claire who's like behind the bar in Afterlife. You interact with her a lot. She even has like missions in the game too. So it was just really cool to see them too in the anime. I love that. Yeah, and Tom's Diner was in there too. I was shocked to see that. Like that place is kind of a dive in the game. Like I'm pretty sure they're not up to code in that joint. a scene that you have in the game in Tom's Diner where you're meeting up with Takamura in Tom's Diner. It had a kind of funny scene where he's like, there's something going on the TV, and he's trying to yell at the the I guess the owner or the patron of the diner to, like, to shut up and turn that up. And and the owner was like, well, I ain't watching this Japanese crap in here. You want to watch that, go somewhere else. And the probably the biggest cameo in the anime from the game is Adam Smasher. Yeah, if you're familiar with the game, so I think this anime takes place possibly like a year or two before the game. Because I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, just seeing Adam Smasher in there, it was just like, wait, hold on, wait, what time? When is this happening exactly? But I think there was a quick blurb in there where they were saying it was 2070 or 75, I think, or something like that. And which, like, going like addressing the whole cyber psycho thing, it's just like, wait, Adam Smasher is the most chromed out character in the entire game. How is he not cyber psycho? But I think in the anime it might have answered that, because I think he's full on like android at this point. I don't even think there's any human part about him anymore. I think he's like uploaded his like mind into like a construct or something, and he's just going on as like a cyborg basically. So yeah, that was really interesting, because I always had that thought in the game of like, wait a minute, how is he not cyber psycho? Like the only human part about him was probably his face. Everything else was like chromed out. But I think the anime kind of helped answer that in a way. So that was really cool. I like that. Yeah. Other favorite part about this was David and Lucy. Very, very good kind of story between these two. And look, I knew from the outset it would be like something really tragic, it would be something like really horrible. But even still, I kind of wasn't prepared in a way. You know what I mean? And I love the setup to their like romance. Really, like, Lucy does something like really shady, really devious to David, and it kind of creates a rift between them. But of course, as the series goes on, they get close and get tighter and closer, and things like that. And yeah, it's man, that was the main. I think their relationship was kind of like the main kind of point of the series, and it very well written. I really like the character. And so for anybody who watched the dub version of the anime, when this character came on screen, yeah, I'm pretty sure you immediately heard his voice. It's the voice of Giancarlo Espinosa, who is pretty much the super smooth and suave, like heavy in like every TV show coming out nowadays. You've definitely seen his work at some point. Yeah, so like as soon as you heard Faraday talk, like you kind of, I was like, oh, what, they got my man in here. Okay, okay. Like immediately I just like, oh my god, that's Giancarlo. But yeah, and yeah, the Faraday, like he knocks everything he does, he knocks out the park. So Faraday was like a really good, uh kind of typical though, but like a really good character, like down to the end. And so I loved Rebecca. Like I loved that crazy ass girl, like from the jump. And I did kind of, it did flash in my mind for just a quick instant though of like, how old is she? But I mean, honestly, what is she, like a year, maybe a year or two younger than David? Because I think David's 17 in this. And so and it's like, yeah, yeah, of course, like kids who have to grow up in Night City, like who, what do you think they would be like? And there's even kids in the game that like walk around with like the short shorts on and stuff like that, and it's like it's disturbing, and it's like that's the point. You know what I mean? And I heard that like there was kind of pushback from CDPR with Studio Trigger, because they were, I guess, uncomfortable with Rebecca in the series. But To Studio Trigger's credit, they said, no, we're keeping her in here. We're not altering a thing because I think they get it too. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's the point of the game. Like, and plus in the city where everything is super, just super violent, hypersexual, the kids don't have a choice but to adopt to that lifestyle, to that culture. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the point of, like, you know, Night City. Like, yeah, she's not the only kid that has to grow up like super fast. But even still, like, she's a really cool character. She was crazy in through the whole thing. And I even had a side of me where I was getting mad at David. I'm just like, man, David, come on, man. You fawning after Lucy, like, man, she's cool as hell, man. Shoot. But I don't know, she's crazy though. She is way crazy. What I hated about it, if I could say anything I hate it, it's just the constant like screen flashes that they do in here. I mean, it's not just the anime, it's the game too. Like, they do a lot of that, and it gets on my nerves. I'm not like sensitive to that or anything like that. Not yet, anyway, because there's like, I do get like they call them oral migraines in my eyes, which I have to like wear glasses and stuff like to kind of protect against. But yeah, that was, if I had a nitpick, it would be that, like, all them stupid screen flashes and all that stuff they do. Yeah, that gets on my nerves like really quick. But that's kind of it. That's like my only nitpick for this. I absolutely love this anime. Again, this might be the anime that gets me back into anime because I haven't really watched a lot of anime in years now, and which is actually kind of wild because that's all I used to watch at a certain point. But yeah, again, I love the world of cyberpunk. Like, and I think CDPR is going to use this to kind of like expand into other mediums. I mean, they're doing this with The Witcher too, and so yeah, man, hopefully there's another series that comes out with this. I can't wait for that because they have the DLC coming for the game. The more comics are coming, and yeah, if they have another season of the anime, I can't wait. I am consuming all of this. Like, I love it. Out of five, it's a five, like, straight up, hands down, straight fire, straight five. I loved it. Can't wait for more. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch this again. And just talking about all the cyberpunk, I can't wait to play the game. I think I'm gonna go play the game now.